Good evening, this is the news track and I'm Marya, Shakil. The headlines at 5. Ousted Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina sentenced to death. Court says Hasina committed crime against humanity and knew about firing on students. Hasina rejects charges, cries witch hunt. Biggest scoop on Delhi suicide case, Babri revenge Fidain plot unraveled. Dr. Umar may have been a shoe bomber. Mother of Satan, explosive TATP traces found. Indian Army's dire warning to Pakistan after Delhi blast. Army chief's picture abhi baki hai. Warning to Pakistan. Army chief says Operation Sindoor is trailer picture baki hai.
1.0 तो देखिए, मैं तो ये कहना चाहूँगा कि मूवी शुरू भी नहीं हुई थी, सिर्फ एक ट्रेलर दिखाया गया था और ट्रेलर के बाद 88 घंटे में वो ट्रेलर
42 Indian pilgrims charged to death. Bus tanker collision in Makkah kills 42. Massive tragedy in Islam's holiest city. External Affairs Minister shows support to victims' families. Nitish Kumar to take oath as Chief Minister on Thursday, that is November 20th, meets Governor Arif Mohammad Khan at Raj Bhavan with his cabinet. It's a stunning twist in Bangladesh's political saga. Sheikh Hasina, once the country's longest-serving Prime Minister, once the towering Iron Lady of Dhaka, but now finds herself on the other side of history. A special tribunal has sentenced her to death, accusing her of abuse of power and targeted killings during her tenure. But Sheikh Hasina is calling it a witch hunt, backed by Yunus regime determined to erase the Awami League's footprint from Bangladesh's political landscape. That's what the former Prime Minister says. While some international observers are calling this prosecution unprecedented, others called it political vengeance masquerading as justice. For Bangladesh, it is a moment that reopens wounds of its turbulent past. It has once again plunged into chaos. For Sheikh Hasina, this may be the defining battle of a political lifetime. So what's next for her? Will the Modi government back Bango Bandhu's Beti? Will Mohibul Rahman's daughter make a comeback? There's a piece of breaking news coming in now, ladies and gentlemen. And this is with regards to the statement which has been put out by the Yunus interim government on Sheikh Hasina's verdict. The government has said that the death sentence announced against former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and former Home Minister Asaduzzama Khan Kamal for crimes against humanity is a historic verdict. And Yunus government also says that realizing the profound significance of this verdict, the government is calling on the people of all walks of life to remain calm, restrained and responsible. I think this is an important part because there were reports coming in from several parts of Bangladesh that there were protests starting to take place on ground. Everyone is being specially requested to refrain from any kind of disorder, provocative behavior, violence or illegal activities in the post-verdict period. This verdict, which has been long awaited by the people, especially the relatives of the martyrs of the July uprising, may naturally generate emotions in public mind. We have Anupam on the phone line joining us, a sharp statement coming in and also an appeal that there has to be calm and responsible behavior on the part of the public. Anupam.
Well, you know, the situation in Bangladesh is still tense, but and we have also being informed that few incidents have been happening, especially Dhanmondi, the residence of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. A crowd of around 300 to 400 people have gathered in front of the house, and they wanted to dismantle the house completely and wanted to have a field in place of the house. But security forces were there, and a clash happened between security forces and protesters. Security forces have resorted to tear gas shell also. So situation in some parts of the area still tense. One bus has been torched in Mirpur area. That is what we also know. But in spite of these 2-3 incidents, we are not getting much more reports of incidents in Bangladesh. But the situation is still very tense, and security forces have been beefed up. Security has been beefed up in every part, especially the Indo-Bangladesh border and in and around Dhaka.
Another question to you: the government of Muhammad Yunus says that this is a historic verdict because the martyrs of the July uprising are waiting for this, and it's bound to generate some kind of emotions in the public mind. But any attempt at anarchy chaos must be strictly suppressed. So are you sensing that there is a possibility of some kind of backlash that the Yunus government is sensing?
Well, there is still 20 to 30% people are there in Bangladesh who are very sympathetic to Awami League and who support Sheikh Hasina. The supporters of Sheikh Hasina are also there in Bangladesh. So, in the wake of this verdict, it is anticipated that some kind of clash may erupt, and that is why Bangladesh administration has taken this kind of step.
Just hold on to your thoughts now. Mohibul Hasan Chaudhary, former education minister in Hasina's cabinet, is joining us live now. Mr. Chaudhary, appreciate your time here on India Today. Your first reactions, the interim government of Bangladesh is calling it historic. You say that this is biased, politically motivated charade. But what is the evidence that you have to say so?
You see, the constitution of the tribunal itself is illegal. This tribunal was meant to try for the crimes committed in 1971. That was the mandate of this tribunal. This interim government did not have any mandate, constitutional or through the court, to amend an act of parliament through a temporary law. Now, they have done that. They have included the incidents of 2024 into the mandate of this court, which is totally illegal because there is no parliament in session. And through this illegal tribunal, they have held a completely one-sided trial where our leader was not allowed to represent herself. Some of the senior lawyers of the Dhaka court, they wanted to fight on her behalf, but they were denied. They were not allowed to appear on her behalf. A state, I mean, the current interim government, the prosecution side, appointed a Jamaat-e-Islami activist lawyer on her behalf. So it was a completely a sham trial in an illegal court by a group of people who simply wants to take revenge for the trials of their leaders who were collaborators of 1971. It is the same tribunal where they were tried. And this tribunal doesn't have the jurisdiction, the authority to try any regular riot incident or a criminal allegation. At the same time, the police have also filed hundreds of thousands of cases of murder charges against our leaders. But they know that if they were to follow regular criminal procedure, they are not going to successfully convict us. Because you have to have a basic standard, a minimum standard of criminal culpability, and you have to prove that. In this tribunal, none of this exists. It was a camera trial. It was a camera trial broadcasted across the country in order to shore up emotion, in order to whitewash the crimes of 1971. And this is what they have done. They have taken revenge for their for what.
But Mr. Chaudhary, the government says that its July Charter reforms is an essential to prevent authoritarianism. And this entire trial actually aligns with that. And if you look at the statement which has been issued just a few minutes ago, it says that it's a historic verdict because it was long awaited by the people, especially the relatives of the martyrs of the July uprising.
July Charter itself is an illegal charter. it purports to amend the constitution. These people are not elected by the people to amend the constitution. Political parties have not even agreed on the July Charter. BNP has signed with note of dissent. Except for Jamaat-e-Islami, every other political party has given their note of dissent against this so-called July Charter. If they are to change the constitution or to prevent authoritarianism or whatever they want to call it, they need mandate from the people. Who are they, first of all? They have just arrived from abroad, sat in the chair of government, and are just running the country without consulting anyone. Let us have an election. Let us have an election. Let the people decide who they want in government. So until and unless that happens, each and every action of this interim regime is constitutionally illegal. So they just want to justify it by PR measures. They want to hold a camera trial, which they have done. We knew this was all coming. This is all planned. This was all planned as they had planned our ouster last year, which they themselves said was a meticulously designed mission.
But Mr. Chaudhary, if you look at it, it says very clearly that there were people who were part of this international crimes tribunal who had, turned approvers as well. They were people who were part of your,
duress.
who were part of it. So there were three-member tribunal, which was headed by Justice Majumdar, who pronounced that judgment, which includes former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and two of her former aides. But it also said that the former police chief had sought an apology from the tribunal and the people of the country, and hence Mr. Kamal, who was the former Home Minister, and Sheikh Hasina were declared fugitives and tried in absentia. Do you think former Prime Minister should go back to the country and face justice?
No country in the world will extradite Sheikh Hasina because the whole trial was such a farce. Regular criminal procedure was not followed during this trial. No, so it cannot be said it was a fair trial. Standard criminal trial requires time. You have to submit evidence. Just because they have turned one of the accused into an approver under duress, who was the Inspector General of Police, because he was told that otherwise he will also be getting death penalty. In order to save his life, his family had decided to turn him into an approver. But what about the evidence that they have submitted? No one was allowed to question any of the evidences. They had played audio records, but there's no reference to the source.
But they're talking about the judges actually had noted that the prosecution's witnesses proved that the attack on the Dhaka University students was by the Awami League wings, including the Chhatra League and the Yuva League. This is the court. This is what the court is saying.
Interestingly, no one had died in the Dhaka University. What they had claimed that the Dhaka University students were instructed by us to start the fight within the university campus. No one, not a single person has died within the Dhaka University. That instruction, if it was true, cannot be used to blame for each and every death during the time. Even the number of deaths is disputed. The government so far has come up with a list of 800. Of which many within the list are actually our activists and police security force members.
Mr. Chaudhary,
so the whole process is a farce.
What next for former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina? What is the legal course that you can take?
We will not take any legal action. We will not, because we are not represented. We are not allowed to give any lawyer. So it was a one-sided trial. We could not give a lawyer, so we can't even file an appeal. We do not have any lawyer present in there. They have appointed a state-appointed prosecutor, who was under their pay and instruction. So we don't even have a lawyer. They will then now claim that they're going to appeal to the appeal court, the Court of Appeal, the appellate division of the Supreme Court. But it's just a PR measure in order to exclude her from the next election. What is now left for us is to protest and work to oust this illegal government.
But
And
how do
we'll
you
go all out.
protest by staying in India
No,
or
we are not.
outside Bangladesh?
No, we are 90% of our activists are in the ground. Some of them are in jail. We are not abroad. Not all of us are abroad. Yes, our leader is abroad, but majority of our leaders are in the country. They are in hiding because they're being arrested and hunted down and persecuted. So we know how to tackle and protest. We know how to deal with authoritarian
Okay, just my
regimes.
last
We've
question
done that.
then. Is there a
We've done that
possibility
for
that just
21
ahead of
years.
elections, the former Prime Minister will be going to Bangladesh? Just ahead of elections?
If we are able to oust this government, we will not allow this government to hold any election. They don't have any right. They cannot hold an one-sided election, and we will boycott it. We will challenge it, and we will do our best for the election not to be held.
All right. Mohibul Hasan Chaudhary, former Education Minister of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's cabinet. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. Muhammad Kamruzzama is a journalist joining me from Dhaka in Bangladesh. Subir Bhomik, a senior journalist and author, also joins us. Mr. Kamruzzama, here is Sheikh Hasina, who is clear that this is a kangaroo court which actually came up with this verdict. It doesn't really have the legal standing or legal wherewithal to pass a judgment of this nature against her.
Thank you for having me. Actually, I, as a journalist, want to say what I have seen here, and I followed the trial process of this International Crimes Tribunal even during the tenure of Sheikh Hasina, when there was trial for crimes against humanity in 1971. However, regarding this trial, what I saw is that the International Crimes Tribunal hearing was held, and many documents were submitted before the court for judgment. And even in those documents, there were video clippings of torturing and killing during the July mass uprising last year. And even there were some audio clips where Sheikh Hasina was heard to instruct for killing the protesters. And according to the claim of the prosecution, those audio clips were verified and were examined through professional means. Even some international media also verified some audio clips. And finally, those audio clips have been proved as the audio clip of Sheikh Hasina. If those audio clips are true, in that case, Sheikh Hasina clearly instructed to kill the protesters. So that has been proved here in the court. And even today, during the reading of the verdict, more than 2 hours it took to read the key parts of the verdict. And there the judge read out those mostly quote and unquote, where we heard that Sheikh Hasina sometimes talked with a cabinet member like Hassanul Haq Inu, even like with Obaidul Kader, former communication minister, and even Dhaka City South Mayor Fazlunur Tapur. So there are so many audio clips, and in this tribunal also the visuals, even through some YouTube channels, those which were published. So everything, visuals, audio, and newspaper, even international media reports, everything was produced. And today, some people who were injured during the last year's mass uprising, some lost their legs, some eyes, they also came here. And the relatives of martyrs also came here. So it's really very strong that Sheikh Hasina instructed to kill the protesters during the last year's mass uprising.
Okay, Subir Bhomik, your thoughts on what's happening in Bangladesh?
Well, I'm not willing to get into, commenting on the process of the trial for the very simple reason that, I was not there. And unlike Kamruzzama, I've not covered the trial. But three things are very clear. This is an in absentia trial where Awami League could not put up their own lawyers. This is number one.
That's right.
Number two, the lawyer who was assigned as the defense counsel, he had to contend with it, and he was not only representing Sheikh Hasina, he was also representing Mr. Kamal. The defense of the two ministers could be widely different. You cannot assume that they will be the same. This is number two. And this is not me saying, but people in Bangladesh are saying this. Number three, very important, he didn't produce a single defense witness. You see, all these edited clips that Kamruzaman is talking about, today even BBC is on the talks when they have produced some clips of Mr. Trump, which were clearly spliced together with the modern technology and the AI. You can splice together clips and clearly use your voice out of context or what you're saying out of context. This is number three. Number four, there was clearly an agitation which was turning violent. Okay, today, with this new agitation by the Awami League now, orders have been given to shoot at sight. Okay, so what wrong did Sheikh Hasina do? I mean, any government which is challenged with sustained street protests which tend to turn violent would do the same thing that Sheikh Hasina did, use law and order in a strong way. At the moment, also, government, the Dhaka Metropolitan Police Commissioner has said Shakil, anybody finding violence. So any government would do that kind of a thing. You see, when there is a serious threat to public order.
All right.
And number five.
Thank you for joining us. We have really come to the end of this discussion, Subir and Mr. Kamruzaman. There is a piece of breaking news which is coming in now, and this is coming in from Patna, where Lalu Yadav has bagged Tejasvi as his successor, and this was during an RJD meeting which was held at the residence of Lalu Yadav, which is 10 Circular Road in Patna. Remember, RJD had contested 143 seats and managed to win just 25, its worst performance ever. It retained a vote share of 23%, just few decimals down from its 2020. This becomes important because this is coming at a time when the family differences is playing out in full public view. Lalu Yadav's elder daughter, Rohini Acharya, has come out all guns blazing against the close group of leaders who are around Tejasvi Yadav, and she has accused them of hurling abuses at her and has made level some very, very serious personal abuses and charges against Sanjay Yadav, a close aide of Tejasvi Yadav.